Today we'll discuss about human cheek cells and cell membrane and nucleus, how they are important. Then this is for today's topics here. So when we just put a salt solution over a peel of a rio leaf, we discussed about a rio leaf here. It is an aquatic plant, and the water is present inside the rio leaf cells, and that will come outside. So it results in a shrinking of the cytoplasm along with the cell membrane. So in rio leaf cell membranes are there, so that will shrink out, and after that it will come out. The water amount will be coming outside, and the outer border of colored area, usually the colored area is called as the cell membrane, and it is also separated by cell wall. It is also separated by cell wall. This is a cheek cell, but about cell membrane I am discussing here. And however we can observe the structure of the cell membrane only through an element called as a microscope here. Cell membrane is very flexible. That means we are sitting, we are moving here and there. So our cell membranes are very flexible. That you need to remember. And usually we can see only through with the help of microscope. And it is having lipids and proteins. You need to remember that. So what is that here? Oils and protein materials are present here. That is most important. They are called as lipids and proteins. Cell membrane is made up of two things, lipids and proteins. That you need to remember. The cell membrane is the outermost layer of the cell that separates the cytoplasm from external environment. So between one cell and another cell, it separates the external environment to internal environment. So it is like a cover for every cell membrane, and this is also called as a plasma membrane. The cell membrane defines the shape and size of the cell and encloses the cytoplasm and protects it from the external environment, and the internal environment of the cell is different from the outside environment. Inside the cell, that means if you consider this is a cell here, one finds a very specific composition of various substances that will maintain the balance, and the cell membrane also plays a crucial role in maintaining the balance within the organism. And you need to remember that any substance entering or leaving the cell can do so through this membrane only. That means it is a protective sheath, like a gate for your home. So who is coming, who is moving out will be checked by this gate. Like that here, cell membrane is like a gate. Any substance entering into the cell will act like that. And the uniqueness of this membrane lies in the fact that it does not allow every substance to pass through it. It will stop some waste materials, and it will exchange only good materials through the cell membrane, which are important. That only will enter into that cell, and otherwise it won't enter. And the exchange of the substances through this cell membrane happens very selectively. Hence it is otherwise called as selective permeable membrane, SPM. So cell membrane is otherwise called as a plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is otherwise called as selective permeable membrane. This you need to remember. And these characteristics of membrane enables to control the exchange of substances between the cell and the external environment. And this we will learn in another chapter called as plasma membrane. Understood? And we discuss about the cell wall. So what is the cell wall? Cell wall also, it is a very hardest part, which is present only in plant cells. It is not present in animal cells. So that only furniture, wooden furniture is very hard. Why? It consists of cell wall. And the unique feature seen in plant cells, usually in plant cells only we can see this one, and we cannot see in any other thing. And this acts as an outer layer where animal cell it does not have, and it is an extra layer we can call, which is made up of material called as cellulose material. And outside the cell membrane, which is known as the cell wall, which consists of cellulose material. This is considered to be the one of the major difference between the plant cell and the animal cell. Understood? So because of presence of the cellulose only, we don't have any cellulose. Only plant cells will have cellulose. Why? They have cell wall. So that's how cell wall is different from cell membrane. And cell wall is a tough and flexible, very tough. It is tough and flexible. It can bend also. So that only while beating in earlier days with sticks only, even now police also will use the stick. It bends also. So flexible but very tough. and the porous layer that tends a definite shape and gives protection of the cell. Earlier it was believed to be inactive, but now it is considered as to be most significant. That means earlier that they don't know about the use of cell wall, but scientists now discover about the use of the cell wall, and it exerts the inward wall pressure also. For every tree or a plant, it inverts the pressure with the help of this thing. And we have on lab activities now we will just discuss. So what is this lab activity means here? To see the cheek cells, first thing we need to just take a toothpick or any spatula or ice cream spoon, you need to take, and inside your mouth you need to just open, and you need to scrap the inside material. After that on the side walls of your mouth, then just place that material from that inside your mouth onto a slide. Then after that you need to add cover slip and focus that under microscope. Then you will, if needed, we need to add some methylene blue color also to get this thing. After that we observe this picture. These are called as cheek cells. Cheek cells mainly to observe is the nucleus in the cheek cells. So cell membrane, cell wall, everything we know, but what is the internal part of the cell is about nucleus. And about nucleus is that we have completed already in 8th class. Understood? Robert Brown discovered that nucleus. Cell was discovered by Robert Hooke. So both are not siblings or brothers. They are independent biologists and scientists. In 1831 he found this coin that no details of nucleus was there, but later it was found. And about its function, this is the one of the most important organelles of the cell. First to say, this is also known as a cell's control room, and as a nucleus is the largest and the most distinct of all the organelles in the cell. If you remember, Sheldon is one person, and they started discussing about the function of the cell theory, and they also discussed about the nucleus. That you need to remember. Sheldon and Schwann is the scientist name. Later we will discuss on that also. And what is the most important thing in a nucleus of an organism is that it just to find different parts also. Here genetic material will be there. This is genetic material, and this is nuclear pore. So as this is a pen, handwriting will be like that only. So you need to understand while listening. And this is nucleoplasm, like cytoplasm, nucleoplasm also is there. And next one inside that, nucleolus. And after that, this is called as nuclear membrane. This region is called as nuclear membrane, but the gap is called as nuclear pore, and nucleolus inside the material. And this wavy pattern is called as a genetic material, and this is called as nucleoplasm. Genetic material colored is called as a nucleoplasm. Understood? Next we will discuss about the nucleus membrane only here. Most important topics. Parts we discussed. About the function also we will discuss now. The membrane, usually the membrane that encloses the nucleus and separates the contents of the cytoplasm is called as nuclear pore. So that we discussed now only. And it is a small cell membrane, like a cell membrane, and inside that nucleolus is present. Usually on the basis of the presence of or absence of the organized nucleus, organisms are divided into two types: prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. So if nucleus is present means they are called as eukaryotic. If nucleus is not present means they are called as prokaryotic. In organisms earlier, like bacteria, it is best example. Bacteria is the best example for nucleus-less organism. So it won't have any nucleus, even though it will live in the water. Understood? Why? Because genetic material is present, like plasmid, that will help the organism to live in water. But eukaryotic, humans and all animals, what you see on land, air, and in water, biggest animals, smallest animals, they all consist of eukaryotic cells. That means we have true nucleus. Very true nucleus is present. Understood? Defined nucleus is present. And after that we have about cytoplasm also. So cytoplasm is the most important thing here. So as nucleus is embedded inside the cell, the jelly-like substance inside the cell is called as a cytoplasm. So you need to remember what is that cytoplasm. When we look at the temporary mounds of onion peel, last year experiments about 8th class, then you will see that inside the material jelly like substance, it is called as a the organelles where they are present, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum. So these are embedded in the jelly-like substance. Those are called as what? Cytoplasm. And what is the difference between protoplasm and cytoplasm here? Protoplasm means here cell membrane plus cytoplasm is called as protoplasm. Whereas cytoplasm is just jelly-like substance. That you need to remember. Cell membrane plus cytoplasm is called as protoplasm. But cytoplasm is just jelly-like substance. That you need to remember. And next, if you just see here only, endoplasmic reticulum is there for us. Different parts will be there like mitochondria, plasmids, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, vacuoles. Different parts will be there in our 9th class biology. Now first part it is about endoplasmic reticulum. Understood? So when the cell was observed under the electron microscope, a network like structures will be seen and observed throughout the cytoplasm, and this network creates passages within the cytoplasm. And then next like network like systems will be present, and these are called as endoplasmic reticulums. They are present surrounding the nucleus like this. Surrounding, if this is a nucleus, surrounds the nucleus like network like structure, and they are divided into, in short it is called as ER. That means endoplasmic reticulum, ER. So that is important. And this endoplasmic reticulum is divided into two types of endoplasmic reticulum. One is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum and one is rough endoplasmic reticulum. What is that smooth endoplasmic reticulum here? Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is that it helps in manufacturing of fat cells. In our body, fat cells will be there here, and about lipid cells. Sometimes we use fat, sometimes we'll use lipid cells, but smooth oil is very smooth, so remember like that. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it helps in functioning production of synthesis of fats and lipids again. And rough endoplasmic reticulum is all about, and in some areas it is present, that means ribosomes are present for it. Why it is called a smooth and rough endoplasmic here? Smooth means here on that endoplasmic reticulum nothing is present. Rough means here on surface of the endoplasmic reticulum ribosomes are attached. Understood? And this rough endoplasmic reticulum will help in protein production. Here fat and oils, smooth, and rough means here protein production will be there. And again it also bounded by the membrane here, endoplasmic reticulum membrane will be present here. That is most important for that. And we'll just see about Golgi complex also, a smallest part, the cell. And this you have seen about onion cells here. To just see the picture, I have posted here onion cells, about cytoplasm, nucleus, cell wall, cell membrane. So this is about, next we will discuss about one more thing, Golgi complex. Then we shall just discuss in the next class only. Why? Because it is most important for you to understand also. It is a complicated topic here, and as of now we have completed till here. And in next class we will just discuss about Golgi complex and its most important topics here. Wishing you happy home and happy health from Hello Biology.